everyone, welcome to day 49 of year 2 of Awesome. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about something that's actually very near and dear to me, and that is, of course, the theater. More specifically, what we need to do in order to make the theater more accessible for the everyday person. Because really, we need to revert back to realism. And I'm talking back to the Ibsen realism of like the late 19th century. The reason why I'm saying this is because, quite frankly, right now, our poetic realism makes a lot of theater far removed for a lot of individuals. It makes it foreign, it makes it difficult to understand, it makes it very obscure, and they find it very difficult to relate to it. And I'm talking about not from the perspective of someone who loves theater, who goes to theater often, and who is a frequent theater watcher. I'm talking about the everyday person who's trying to just go out, trying to experience something new, only to be shunned away by these very artsy-fartsy ideas of poetic realism. Now, I understand why we decide to go with this approach of poetic realism as opposed to literal, which is weird to say, but literal realism. And it's because it makes for better metaphors and for better messages, but at the same time, like I said, it makes it very far removed for a lot of people. They see it as this artsy-fartsy collective movement type thing that makes it very difficult for them to sort of latch onto and sort of relate to. And I think that if we can really go back and put that mirror back up to society, that things would be very different. If Ibsen were around, what type of plays would he be writing right now? He'd be talking about the issues of religious intolerance, social intolerance, class struggle. He'd be talking about all of these things, and he'd be forcing everyone around us and ourselves to really re-examine how our society works. That's what he did with Doll's House, and I'm sure that's what he would do with anything else that he would do were he alive right now and writing. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to make a shift back to realism. Because there's so much inequality and social injustice going on right now that absurdism and poetic realism simply aren't cutting it. The reason why we were able to go into those theatrical movements is because we sort of had the slack. We sort of had the slack to become philosophical and to start thinking about all of these things. But now that we've thought about them, we sort of lulled back into this daze, into this lackadaisical sense of reality. And I think it's time to be snapped out of that and to sort of show the true people what reality is like. Not this concept of reality that we think we have, but what it really is. And showing everyone the injustices that are currently going on. Last year, my school did Human Interest Story. Now, this is actually a really good play that really does that. It brings realism into your face, and it forces you to face reality. And that has sort of been lost for so long in theater. Because we sort of always relied on these ideas of absurdism and poetic realism and expressionism, as opposed to going back to our roots of realism and trying to actually force society to look at itself. And I think the sooner we can do that, the sooner we can, A, bring in more individuals who don't know about theater, because then they can look at something that's actually real, not something that's some poetic image or some metaphor or simile, but something that's actually real. What they're looking at is what it really is. And I think that that'll stop making so many individuals feel alienated about going to the theater. And then secondly, it'll allow us to truly examine what our lives are really like right now. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. A question for you guys. What do you think about what's going on with the art world? Do you think we should revert back to realism, or do you think we should stick with these ideas of absurdity and of expressionistic views? Alright, that's it for today, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye!